How's everybody doing? Okay, so how do I paint my favorite tank car? My nice Masterline Atlas car that I'm afraid to ruin. How do I paint it without having remorse? So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to basically flat base coat it with a brush with Tamiya X21. I'm going to paint the whole car down and I'm going to let it go all chalky white because that's what's going to happen. It's going to turn all white and it's going to be panic stage. Oh no, what have I done, Anyway, the whole idea is this flat base, if this is the rounded side of the car here, I want to create a tooth texture. It's not a texture you'll see with the naked eye, but it'll be enough for when you throw acrylic washes subsequently over each layer. It's going to grab and cling and help create the filters. The filters that we want that are created through multiple layers. Okay? And if I do panic, or if I don't like it, let's say, you know what I'm going to do? Well, I'm just going to load up the airbrush with isopropyl alcohol. I'm just going to pressure wash it all off. And whatever remains is going to look better than it did before. And then I'll just add another layer and another layer and another layer after that. Okay, so here's my beautiful car. My goodness, what have you done, right? This is what the Tamiya X21 flat base does. It leaves this milky white mess on your beautiful Masterline or Athearn Genesis car or locomotive, whatever. If you're scared to do a tank car, do it on a box car. You won't be disappointed. Trust me, you won't be. Okay, so let me show you what to do now. So just take a brush and start working it off. Just start stabbing it off with a semi-stiff brush. See, it's going to leave, see all these little anomalies and textures? Look how it's picking up the weld line, see there? So you got to be patient, you know what I mean? Like, if you want a nice weathered car, have fun and work with it. Like this is what model railroading is, isn't it? See there? Like once you get going with it, you get the right brush happening. Like look at this area here, watch this. You just sort of stab away and you get it moving and just brush it off. Brush it off. Make it happy again. Okay, time for another wash. So I'm just going to spray this down with some water. Number 71.053, dark sea gray. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with 71.040 Burnt Umber. Okay, so while that's drying and doing its work, you can see that I have done the same with the Tamiya X21 flat onto the truck. See how they turn white and chalky there? Now I'm just going to take this stiff brush and brush off some of that chalk. It's going to leave some of it in all the engraving which you want, and it's going to also add some tooth to that Delrin plastic that doesn't like to adhere to paint, right? This is all being done so far with just brushes and washes, no airbrush. I just have the airbrush on standby later if I want to pressure wash some of the hard lines down with some isopropyl, okay? But we may not have to, but if we do, that's okay. Okay, here's some 71080 rust by Vallejo. Let's try some of this. A couple of drops, bit of water right here. Let's give it another wet down. Once again, I'm not going to worry that, you know, all the little anomalies and flood marks that it makes right now, because that's all going to get toned down with isopropyl at the end. So we're just going to put some rust on there. This goes a long ways, but let's just go for it here. That should be enough. It's the same isopropyl. See the white chalk inside of the wheel? I do these wheels too a bit, just stab it out of there a little bit. And then when I put a wash in there, it just, you know, has a nice effect, and it gives it a little bit of tooth to bite onto the metal. Anyway, before we move to the final stage of the isopropyl pressure wash to soften everything, like you can see here on the car, like I don't know how well it photographs, but it looks really cool. But it's not good enough for me though. I'm a little bit remorseful over this yet. Anyway, we're getting there. We're almost there, and it's looking really good. But I wouldn't just leave this though. Someone might. It's still pretty good, but I want to take it a little bit further. But let me just tell you this story how I came across this method over 20 years ago. Okay, so when I was a custom painter, I was working I had a client, and he was sort of a liaison, and I was painting like dozens and dozens and probably hundreds of Cato locomotives. Custom paints, mostly for American clients, and believe it or not, they wanted mostly Canadian Pacific, and so all they had, like all the trains they had, were BNSF, like Heritage. I was stripping those. Imagine that, just to paint them red with CP on them. Anyway, so I got these orders. I started getting them anyway of like, 50 gondola cars or hoppers. I thought, oh man, how am I going to weather these, man? I don't have the time, like, 'cause I was so busy in film, and I had this thing going on the side and building for a museum. And so what I did was one day is I think I had about 40 gondola cars. I took them outside and I'd lined them all up on a big piece of plywood, and I just took my airbrush and I painted every single one of them with umber. I can't remember, I think it was Tamiya. Yeah, it was Tamiya umber paint. I painted them all. Like wheels, I think I pulled the wheels. I did all the bodies, everything umber. And then I just had a gallon of isopropyl alcohol. And I had a big jar, like a siphon feed airbrushing with a big jar in the bottom, just filled full of isopropyl. And I just started spraying them all down and working them over, just like you'd pressure wash a real life car or truck or locomotive or anything, but in a miniature form, right? And I just started doing that, and I was thinking, whoa, man, this is cool. And then I was just stabbing on like a few little colors just from jars on there and hitting it with the isopropyl, and it was running down, and I couldn't believe it. Like I had painted 40 cars in under an hour. And I was getting, I think it was like $25 a pop US for each car. It was just, man, those days, they were the heydays of modeling. But, we were film guys, man. We had to learn to do things fast. But anyway, that was the technique, and I still use it now 20 years later. And do you want to know why I use it? Not only is it effective, it's just so easy. It's so easy to do. If you put this into practice, you can read all the books you want, but if you just start practicing this, again, I just want to encourage you, take some cheap cars and just try it, man. Like, don't worry about it, try it. Just play with it, play with it, play with it, and you'll surprise yourself. Okay, so we'll move on. Okay, so here's the softening process with the isopropyl pressure wash. And what I want to do is soften some of those washes, right? Like I say, some of you might like it the way it is now, but I want to tone it down a bit. So you never quite know what the isopropyl is going to do in terms of, you know, the detail of the texture of the paint, but it almost always does something that's really unique. So that's what I'm going to do. Normally I would do this outside because you can have more fun, put it on a Lazy Susan, spin it around, do a lot of cars fast this way, but I just doing the one car, right? My favorite car that I want no remorse over. And so let's see what we can do with this, all right? So just keep working it over. It takes a while to loosen it up. If you just get in close, you can hit it with air. See that? How it oxidizes? It's going to be pretty heavily weathered, this baby. There's some dark rail brown, super thin. This car has certainly seen better days. So what I've done after soaking it down and playing around with some isopropyl, you're going to get different effects. If you initially use washes of Tamiya, it'll run off real easy. The Vallejo won't. You know, it tends to cling more. So if you get any streakies that you don't like, super thin black brown, like a rail brown that I made with just Tamiya here, with super thin and then light coats over top will help tone things down quite a bit. And she's looking pretty worse for wear right now, and I kind of like it actually. And then I can clean up some of the reporting marks and stuff with the Q-tip and isopropyl later a little bit, just the font areas and stuff. Okay, so we're out of the paint booth and back onto the bench here. And so I would say at this point, it's really up to the individual how they want the tanker to look at this point, or at any point really. But where we are here is I want to redeem a little bit of these reporting marks. So what I'm going to do is rather than use a Q-tip, I'm just going to use a little brush here, and then you can see like the isopropyl wipes away quite easily, and you can just still leave a little bit of grime on the numbers. I find that the Q-tip's a bit too aggressive for this because the isopropyl seems to lift pretty good, and I don't want to make it look super clean. I want to move some of the paint around still. See, that's even too much, but just enough to you know, show the reporting marks a little bit here and there. And then even some of the safety stripe. So you can just go at it now with a little bit of isopropyl and sort of detail it, right? See, there's a safety stripe here on the edge. Watch, just rub it in a bit. See how it starts to come through? So you can play around, you know, keep the brush strokes vertical. And see, I don't know if you can see all this oxidization on the bottom here. It looks really nice as well. Okay, and then you can just go over it and detail it just like that. I'll zoom in for you a bit more. So that rail brown wash that we had put on previously, the isopropyl just reactivates it nice, and it blends in, feathers in really well as the isopropyl evaporates. Okay. Isn't that nice? Okay, so here's my favorite tanker all weathered up on the layout. Anyway, the matching one, I'm not going to weather like this. I'm going to have it more new. I'm just going to maybe flat coat it, throw some rail brown on the trucks, you know. Because I saw some cars actually this morning on the way to work, and they looked like they were repainted. Correct me if I'm wrong, I might be. Like, do they repaint these cars? I'm not really sure. When they get all old and decrepit and rusted out like that, but I think that one alongside of one that was very mildly weathered, as some have mentioned earlier in some of the other content, would be a nice contrast, don't you think? Anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. Fits the Glover Road theme. So I just want to say thanks for tuning in and following along. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope that you have a great day.